All right. Now we're talking about natural lighting.
This
Here's a
is what
couple
I
more
was, yeah.
frames where there's a guy digging for treasure. It's a whole different part of the story, but all of these are lit without a bounce, even. Nothing. It's just natural light. That's just the sun hitting it the right spot. Now,
Part of it takes place in a cave. And
mhm.
the racetrack situation where Kyle had to be so strict about like, okay, we can shoot in the morning, then we have to take a break all day, then we'll shoot at night. Um, like he said, we all sat in our cars. We actually had an Airbnb like 5 minutes away, and everybody, we all went back and
Oh
hung
yeah, I
out
took a
there.
shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this situation was different. This was a 3 mile walk through the woods to the location, and we didn't have 2 days for this. This was one day. No, it was two.
But we still didn't have enough time to play.
Yeah, we didn't have enough time to walk 3 miles back, drive 30 minutes to our Airbnb, whatever. So there's a lot of sequence of the sequence that takes place in the woods normally, where the guy's just walking through, and that was all shot in the morning when you can get your backlight
Mhm.
and what you wanted. The rest of the sequence takes place in a cave, which
Yeah, in a literal underground cave, where you know what a cave is, right? It's like a hole in the earth where, okay, made of rocks. And this cave had like an opening at the top of it where it's like this, you could look up and you could see the sky within this cave. And what I knew is that obviously during the middle of the day, the sun is in the middle where it's right up at the top. So I was like, okay, let's block our day like this. We'll shoot everything in the woods when it's morning and the sun is low and we can backlight things. Then in our downtime, when the sun looks like horrible, let's go in the cave because then the sun will be above and we'll be able to get some sort of light in there. I wasn't really sure it would look this good at all. But look at this. This looks like, I mean, this is no lighting. This is just nature, fully organic, natural light here. And I mean, what? You know, like it's like, again, what I'm trying to articulate is like just because you don't have lighting in a crew, for a lot of scenes, you can get away with like super insane looking pictures by just understanding how light works. So you should study Wandering DP, learn how light works, and then you don't need a light. There is a free light in the sky every day that you can go and use, and then you use it like that.
And again, the most important part after learning it is just making sure that whatever schedule you're setting out is conducive to using what you've
Yeah,
learned.
make sure that your schedule is your tool.
Because
Your
your
schedule
window
is your lighting tools, you
and your
know?
window is really so slim.
Yeah, you
For
don't have in once you understand how this works, you don't have time to play around. Like these actors got to be good at delivering their lines. They got to hit it because the light is the whole situation. You know, the light is life or death all day. We got to get it while the light is
I
hot.
mean, like the freak out montage we can put together of this guy like screaming, "Where is the sun?" Like
I mean, it's
this.
stressful. I finally get us in this spot. I've done the math of like the Da Vinci Code. Here we are. We're there. It's like, holy shit, this looks just right. And then I see these guys walking with a bag of props, acting like, where do I put this thing? I'm like, guys, get the over here, man. Like we gotta shoot this now. And don't be afraid if you're the one shooting to like treat everyone with a bit of disrespect in this moment. Not really, but like you can be like, guys, this is so crazy. Like hurry up. Like now's the light. You know, this is the most important thing. If you miss that light window, I don't care what all of you did, how far you drove, what everything you got ready, you got your outfit, your costume. Bro, we missed the light. Let's go home. Like this looks like not
And
good.
nobody can understand that except everybody else can think, well, we have everything here. Why can't we just shoot
Yeah,
it?
can't you
No,
just do something? Dude,
it's not
no,
possible.
dude.
Yeah.
And even if we had a crew, it wouldn't look as good as this. So, like, respect the light, respect the rules of the light, understand that natural lighting is precious. And if you get in a spot, if you already did your due diligence as the one shooting and directing everybody, if you did your due diligence to get in a spot where magical light is going to happen, make sure that the rest of your crew and everyone knows not to fuck around with you in that moment, because you do need to get it. That was hard for you to do, and you need to press record while it looks pretty, and they need to respect that. And don't be afraid to be crazy about it. Anyway, one more concept in this cave. The light's coming from the ceiling, it's coming down. Once you understand the thing about where does light bounce around, then you can use this map to have the sun hit the map and glow and make a beautiful light on his face. And that's all that's happening here. The light's above, it's hitting the map, it's lighting his face.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
this image has been in like another video, and people have asked like, what effect did you use to get that? And it was
The good
literally
old sun.
just the sun. Now the paper is like old aged paper, and maybe that had some
Yeah, it
influence
had
on
some
it. But
influence. But all right. Now I want to talk about a couple last things with natural light, which is this scene. This is a scene in this old school warship. It's literally like a ship that like fought wars.
no,
it not?
no, we always call it the battleship, but I don't know the difference. But apparently, it was a merchant marine ship. Apparently, it
Okay,
like never
whatever.
had guns on it, but we do
Who
call
cares?
it.
It's a warship.
It
This
looks
ship is
one.
like
It's
a
called the
crazy boat. Let's just say it's this giant ship. It's like a ship. Anyway, we're in this scene. We walked in here, and there is a window that I'll have to show you that frame too. It's like a nautical window. It's like a circle. There's a window behind them. And then this is just the lighting that was in the hallway. It's like a light that's hanging on the ceiling. So again, I turned on the camera. It looked like this. And I was like, we don't need any lights. So my point there is like, sometimes you can get lighting that looks like this without turning on any lights, and don't hold yourself up. Like, there's a lot to do in the day. Don't be the guy who's like, should I use a light? Should I, like, does it look good? Press record, like it look like, again, once you understand lighting, you can tell that like, no, dude, that light's causing an edge light for him. This is causing a fill light for them. It also has color contrast because like one's cooler because it's daylight. That one is tungsten, that looks crazy. And like, don't overcomplicate it. There are times when you get yourself into situations that look naturally good already, and you just don't need to alter them.
They look naturally good without natural light.
Yeah, like it's not even natural light. It's light that's practical, but you don't need to alter it. All right, now the last thing I'll say about lighting, we are going to go into a whole nother video about lighting later, many probably, but I'll just say that video is going to talk a lot about this, but I'll just make a quick point because I have these frames in here right now. When I am doing lighting that's not natural, when it's set up lighting, I am still trying to make it feel as natural as possible, as often as possible. So if you see this frame and this frame, you see there's this window there, and this window is causing that light on the wall. All I'm then doing is trying to make it look as if the window is doing that again. And a lot of people talk about that as well, especially wandering DP. So you can start there. But there's also this frames where there's this like crazy freak that is in this scene. And I want to say one thing, which is that I did have a big soft light that is the key light for him, but the windows are naturally doing this thing where they're like causing these harsh beams of light that are on him. And so this is another one of those situations where I had scouted the location. I knew the light was going to come through this window at some point, and that level of sunlight is a light that I could not afford. I don't care if I could rent a light or have a crew or whatever. It's so bright that like I just didn't have the money to get something like that. So sometimes you like work with your fake light and the sun to get what you're trying to do inside. And yeah, I think that's like the gist of it. Again, we'll be showing a couple more light images that these were entirely just the sun, no negative fill, no bounce, nothing, just the camera and nature. And
we had mentioned that we do this a lot of the time with no crew, and sometimes we do have friends helping with light and stuff.
Yes. Okay, wait, 2 more points. That's natural light. That's how it works, right? Like, you can see how this is. Now, we talked to you about this because we didn't have a crew, right? And that doesn't mean we didn't have a bit of a crew. This guy who's standing behind this camera right now, come over here, Oscar. He was our crew. So like he was the guy that was helping us with all lighting all the time, because sometimes you do need someone who can set up the light for whatever you're doing. So whenever we did use lighting, he would come with us and set it up. And so in that video, maybe we'll talk a little bit with him or whatever about that. But again, now we're talking about a crew. That's one other guy, you know, like it's not.
And he wasn't there. Sometimes it was just you.
Yeah, sometimes it was just the two. I mean, a lot of times it was just the two of us. But my point is that like, if you're gonna go crazy, that's as crazy as you need to go.
Which he's amazing.
And there was one last final thing that I was gonna say, which is this. Oh, the backlight thing. Last thing I'll say, back to the Wandering DP stuff, which is talking about backlight, which is the positioning of the sun or whatever light you're using that is on the far side of the talent to the camera. So as you can see here, it's like, all right, this camera is here. I'm here. The light is coming from there. So that's how you want to have everything all the time. The light is on the other side of the person that you're shooting. I tried to do that as much as I possibly could. There are situations that you get in where you cannot do that because the location and the time and whatever. And at first I was like having stomach problems and everything when I knew I would get in this situation, because I'm like, crap, this is going to look bad. This is not what Wandering DP told me to do. This is not what I'm allowed to do.
This was the first time too.
This shot here is a good example of what happens sometimes. And all I'm bringing this up to say is, in this particular scene, it worked out great. And so it can happen that the sun is just completely directly on the characters and blasting them with sun, and it is not quote unquote beautiful, but this scene wasn't beautiful. This scene is of a guy dying, bleeding out in front of a house in the heat of Florida. This is what that looks like, is harsh sunlight. So what I'm saying is, when you watch Wandering DP and you understand the concepts of light and you understand backlighting and you understand all of that, it unlocks a whole world of understanding how to make cinematic images. But it also unlocks a whole world of fear of not cinematic images where you're like, oh no, the light's not going to be good. The light's not going to be good. Like I can't even think about anything but light anymore because everything is just, it's got to be good. It's got to be good. It's okay. Once you understand it and you try for it 98% of the time, it's also just totally okay to not have cinematic lighting. You can just have harsh lighting. You can just have flat lighting. You can just have no lighting. You know, like that's okay too. So don't be afraid to let that happen.
I don't know if this is a part of this video or you'll talk about it more in another, but yeah, exactly what you said. You strove to get this beautiful lighting so much throughout the whole movie that like we had other reasons why our blocking couldn't be as crazy as maybe we would have wanted or whatever. But as time went on, you did start to wonder after you had done a couple things like this and other things if maybe you took it too far and if you could have played around and sacrificed a beautiful image to do more with camera movement or something like that. Now, I think creating like fake rules for yourself to abide by ends up creating like a fun aesthetic in something. So I don't think there was anything wrong with what we did. But
yeah, I'll say this. I was so obsessed with light that I was trying so hard to do it 100% of the time. And I don't know if I suggest doing that or not. Maybe when you watch the movie, you guys are going to be like, that all the light is so beautiful, I don't even care about anything else. And I hope that's what you say. But I feel like you can sometimes, you know, limit the rest of the movie if you're focused so much on light. But I think you'll get there when you get there. I think if you're watching this now, you should worry about getting better light. Start, because classic, that's the hard thing to do.
The old classic, spend the whole video talking about one thing, and at the end we're like, but actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We've had enough juice.